Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Star Wars: The Last Jedi, starring Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Adam Driver, Domhnall Gleeson, Laura Dern, Benicio del Toro, and Andy Serkis, directed by Rian Johnson. Now, let me just say, I was really excited for this movie going into the movie theater. And what did I think of it? Let's get into this. The Star Wars theme in the opening crawl did sound a little off, just the way it sounds just isn't the same in my opinion. The first action sequence was a little prolonged and it felt very staged, like very choppy. What the hell is the tone of this movie? Is it a comedy? Is it an action sci-fi fantasy? Because this movie's tone is pretty much all over the place. It's like we're going back to Revenge of the Sith territory. My least favorite of the Star Wars movies, by the way. The Asian bomber who drops all the bombs in the action scene and dies does have a sister that I will bring up later in the film. Was a sad death, but interesting way to die in a movie. Finn is back alive from the coma at the end of The Force Awakens was just a terrible comeback. Just way too forced. The Force Awakens ended up with a cliffhanger and of Rey giving Luke Skywalker the lightsaber, and he just throws it like no big deal. In this movie, let me rephrase, it was just so stupid. Supreme Leader Snoke is introduced with no hologram this time, with Kylo Ren, and asks him to take off that damn mask, which thank God, because it was so hard to understand a damn thing he was saying in the last movie with that stupid mask on. And also, thank God he destroys that mask anyways. Smart choice, Rian Johnson. Rey following Luke around like she's expecting him to come with her was just the most ridiculous scenes ever. Kylo Ren almost shoots Leia, but a stormtrooper did, and Leia floats in space and goes into a coma, but by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, she survives. Why? Just why? She should have died there then. Like, how the hell are they going to bring back Carrie Fisher in the next movie? Spoiler alert, like I said, she's alive by the end of the movie. How? They better not CGI her in the next movie, or else I am going to be pissed! I like the new character Porg. Seriously, he's adorable with his big eyes. Now, I want a plushie of that character now. He's just so cute. R2-D2 is back in this movie briefly and shows Luke the message from A New Hope, and I like that flashback from the original. Vice Admiral Holdo, played by Laura Dern, which I will get to when I get to Jurassic Park, is a character I just do not like or trust because her decisions in this movie are very questionable. I also thought she was a coward throughout the movie until we get to that end of her scene where she dies and sacrifices herself. Which, smart move on her, I guess. Finn meets Rose as she tasers Finn and paralyzes him, and I don't like Rose that much in this movie. She just annoys the hell out of me. So Kylo Ren and Rey can see each other's shadows from the Force, and they can see each other. It's just a weird Jedi trick. And we get quite a few scenes of that, and that was just tacky. And they did bring that up at that Obi-Wan will train like that with Yoda at the end of the Revenge of the Sith. Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, and even Adam Driver are all giving just the worst performances I've ever seen in my lifetime. Like, is this the best Rian Johnson can do? Because he's directed better movies, better scenes than this, and he's directed better movies than this, and I'm so upset by saying that. I'm afraid to say that but BB-8 is not as great as last time, nor is better than C-3PO and R2-D2. Finn, Rose, and BB-8 go to a planet which honestly looks like Las Vegas remodeled, and the humor of that scene, including a little creature putting coins in BB-8, that humor was just bad. Like, it's not funny to me. DJ, played by Benicio del Toro, like I said in my Inherent Vice review, he's a tremendous actor. Now, I did like the character for how unpredictable he is by the end of the movie. I also love the jailbreak out with BB-8 shooting coins at the prison guards. And the kids that are slaves on that planet, letting all those space horses out of their cages was a good way for Finn and Rose to escape. So Luke tries to kill Kylo Ren when he was training with him. Now that twist was absolutely terrible of a twist. That Luke is on the gray side of the Force, which means that he's either good or bad. The fight between Luke and Rey was just a worthless fight for the way it was staged, just so Rey can get the truth from Luke. It was just dreadful. What was up with Yoda and how bad he looks? Yes, he's in this movie. And I mean, they did use a puppet, but he looked so bad that from that scene, but luckily he doesn't come back for the rest of the movie. Rey comes to Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren takes Rey to Snoke. And I thought from that scene Rey was going to turn to the dark side. Like, I honestly was scared to death until Kylo Ren just slices Snoke in half. Then it got into a pretentious choreographed lightsaber fight scene. Just terrible. The fight between Finn and Captain Phasma was just again choreographed in a terrible kind of way. This is the longest Star Wars movie ever. At 2 hours and 32 minutes of this scenes, and with this plot, really needed to be cut around 15 minutes at this point. Because here's what's going on in this movie. The First Order is going really slow on beating off the Resistance by shooting their ships apart. And sometimes Rey will train with Luke and try to follow him around and all that. And Finn and Rose go with BB-8 go to this Las Vegas looking casino thing, and then by the end of it they go to a snow planet, which I'll get to. Just Jesus, cut some of this stuff out. The final fight between the Resistance and the First Order is super prolonged, and I'm having a headache at this point. At the snow planet that I brought up just a minute ago, Finn recklessly goes towards the laser shooter until Rose saves his ass, which I wish she didn't, to be honest. Just let him die, damn it. Although she died, so it doesn't matter. Luke shows up out of the blue to save the Resistance and fights Kylo Ren, and they fight in a poorly choreographed kind of way, and as it turns out, Luke defeats Kylo Ren by being on the other side of the galaxy, and is prolonged and dies the same way as Obi-Wan Kenobi did in A New Hope. And just disappears. Then Kylo Ren decides he lost the battle, but thinks he will not lose the war. The kids we met earlier when Finn and Rose were rescued tells the story of Luke Skywalker to the other kids, and one kid has the image we see in A New Hope, when Luke looks at the sunset, but the kid this time is looking at the moon, when the same music rolling and the credits begin to roll. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 5.6 out of 10. This is not the prequels bad, but it's not the original trilogy good either, nor The Force Awakens and Rogue One good or somewhat semi-good. But I would watch this again over the prequels, despite how much there were problems, but it's worth watching once if you're a Star Wars fan. But I'm a Star Wars fan, and I will watch it again any time of the day. Just to clarify with you guys, I didn't hate this movie. I want to just say that right now. It's just slowly paced, is all I'm saying. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for the Star Wars retrospective leading up to The Last Jedi. And thanks for watching. I hope you'd please sure to subscribe, watch some more videos, leave a positive comment in the bottom. And until next time with Solo coming next in this May, may the Force be with you.